Well, and again, I'm a little unclear about the time.
Oh, wow,
Actions
all right.
actually occurred
Yeah,
after I left,
it's,
if I'm not mistaken.
let's get it all
the
together
actual
here.
suspension and debarment occurred after.
Let me see, we need to
Black
change,
notebooks or
change a
further
few things.
information
Yeah,
while you were still there.
Change that, yeah, we'll put that one there.
Once it was clear that there was
And we're gonna get ready
I
to,
was still there. We
to
were
do
told
it
by
again.
AID,
Do it again.
compliance
Do
is going to
it
be handled
again.
by
Do
building
it
one,
again.
i.e. the NIH director and Mike Lau.
What are we doing? Oh,
So
we're
the
playing,
compliance was said, don't touch it,
we're
don't go near
playing
it, just we'll take care of it.
Machinika Museum.
You just brought this up since
Machinika Museum.
original termination, then
Yeah, that's
suspension.
what we're playing.
NIH found numerous major violations of grant policies, has since debarred the Wuhan Institute of Virology and suspended and proposed for debarment of EcoHealth as an institution and Dr. Dazik individually. Are you aware of those?
Yes, I am.
So let's go. Let's do it.
During previous TIs and hearings, when asked if they
Oh, they
actions and supported the
fuckers.
suspension and debarment, both Dr.
Well.
and Dr. Tabak said yes. Sitting here
They
today,
knocked my
do you
camera out
support
of
the
whack.
suspension and debarment of EcoHealth?
Yes.
I gotta go back and.
I want to move on
Ah.
to the kind of like known unknowns of COVID origins, to quote Dr. Lipkin's paper from early 2020. On October 20th, 2021, Dr. Tabak sent a letter to then ranking member Mr. Comer that said the bat coronaviruses studied under the EcoHealth Alliance grant could not have been the source of SARS-CoV-2 and the COVID-19 pandemic. He testified similarly both in January and today. Some of the things that I believe Chairman Griffin brought up was just kind of that statement results on some things, rests on some things that we just can't know. In your experience, Dr. Fauci, do researchers publish every virus that they sequence?
No, I mean, I think researchers don't always publish every single thing they do.
Do they routinely publish every experiment that they conduct?
Is that it?
Well, there are people who don't publish every single experiment that they do.
And then
Yeah,
is there
yeah.
a lag time between the sampling, the analysis, and the publication?
Yeah, I mean, publications often take months before they come out.
Is it possible, if not plausible, that EcoHealth and the Wuhan Institute have samples from between 2020 when they originally published a paper, or excuse me, 2015 when they originally published a paper with all of their samples, and now that are unpublished?
Sure, it's possible, but Mitch, I might just throw in there, you can't get away from the fact that the viruses that were studied, that the NIH gave them a grant to study, don't pull back on the fact that no matter what you did with those viruses, they were phylogenetically so different, they could not possibly be the precursor of SARS-CoV-2.
And I agree with that. I guess my only point is that you don't know all the viruses they were working with.
Yeah, and let's make that clear, because Congressman Griffith asked it, and I answered you quite honestly, that none of us can know everything that's going on in China or in Wuhan or what have you, and that's the reason why.
I don't have to do it right
I
now.
think today, and I've said it to TI, I keep an
The marauders are outside my apartment building trying to break in.
Last thing,
They've been hammering all day long.
Testimony continuing on
And they're gonna be hammering for the rest of the day. So
you can take a live look.
my cameras are gonna be out of whack. I'm gonna have to,
More than 400 points right now.
I am gonna have to do something.
Technical issue that
I guess I could algorithm.
companies' shares trading.
Well, what the hell?
shares to be
I
halted.
just leave them like that.
That has since been fixed. At one point, Berkshire Hathaway's Class A shares are down nearly 100%.
Dow Jones is it's starting to come back up in. It's just playing around at 40,000 mark, you know.
It's all we do.
Our firm has been offering a free.
It just doesn't want to stay there.
10 years. Since that time,
It gets to it and then falls back down.
have trusted us to represent them against
Anyway.
counsel. We have local
So,
offices throughout the U.S.
Let's go to the game screen.
And there is no risk to you. Let us
And,
know it's for you and your family. Call now.
And start up the game.
642-9300 or go to puzzel.
The Machinika
If you're listening
Museum.
to me, I'll tell you the same thing I tell my patients. Getting on Dexcom G7 is one of the easiest ways to take better control of your diabetes and help
Take
protect
better
yourself
control of your
from long-term
diabetes.
health problems it can cause. This small wearable replaces finger sticks, lowers A1C, and is covered by Medicare.
Not managing your
Let's
diabetes
resume.
really affects your health for the future. The older you get, the more complications you're going to see.
I know I've been ignoring my diabetes.
Okay, so
My eyesight to go back.
I just got this far.
I started having issues.
Before the Dexcom G7, doctor's appointments were not something I
Yeah,
loved.
look at
It
this.
was a lot of turmoil.
For my patients, getting on Dexcom G7 is the biggest
Stops.
diagnosis they've ever had.
When I got Dexcom
Goes all the way
G7, it
back.
was easier. This small wearable sends my glucose numbers right to my phone or my receiver. With just a glance, I can see it going high and low.
Goes all the way
or
back.
steady.
Huh?
So I can quickly get my glucose under control and better protect myself from complications. My A1C is down 5 points.
Get started on Dexcom G7, the most recommended
Five,
CGM. Dexcom G7 has changed my life for the better. Now I'm a superstar.
Well,
My
now it's started,
A1C
huh?
5.7.
My A1C has never been lower. It's always been the same. I go
purpose is
swimming,
that, sir?
I ride the exercise bike, and I play with my grandkids.
Oh, well.
I barely have my life back.
My wife used to worry about me having
It's stuck, I think.
my Dexcom G7.
Block.
But now,
Must be
she doesn't
something
worry
with the game.
because she knows.
It gives me a lot of peace of mind. I want to be around sometimes.
Dexcom G7 can improve your glucose control, which helps
You
prevent
screw
long-term
around here.
complications for a longer,
It looks like
healthier
smooth in my mouth like
To
this.
receive
Right.
treatment, especially for mental supplements.
I have over
The
my
mechanic
30 years seen many
driver.
patients who have excessive sweating. It is very much complicated. Excessive sweating is not something you have to live with. I recommend Carpe for my patients.
Carpe is by far the most effective antiperspirant I've ever used. I love it.
I should
Effective,
focus
it's a game changer.
on the currents.
Stops the odor and sweat. Make it gentle on skin. Get customized swifter that works.
I should focus on the currents. You should.
Welcome back on the scene of live. Like some of the events we're following right now, we're expecting that State Department briefing to begin any minute. Right, you can see the UN Security Council naming its new chairman for the month. That's the ambassador from South Korea. Update on Wall Street. Right now, the Dow is down. But let's head to Capitol Hill because that is where Dr. Anthony Fauci continuing his testimony on his response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's listen.
Many different topics today. Just want to make sure that you have the opportunity to provide your full perspective on any and all of them. Is there anything you'd like to add, clarify, or say about any of the topics we discussed here today?
We've covered just about everything, but if you come up with something you want to ask me, I'd be happy to try to fill it in, but I think we've been rather extensive today.
I think that's great. I think we
It's just
agree.
round and round and
We'll
round.
yield back the remainder of our time.
Does that. Okay.
I'd like to yield the ranking member. Please
there's only three of them, though.
Dr. Fauci, I'd like to thank you for your testimony today, and I
Okay, 1,
would
2,
like to
3.
thank you for your decades of service to our nation, especially with the HIV
Ah.
epidemic that our nation suffered through,
And what this
pandemic
is.
flu, Ebola, Zika, and COVID-19, and your years of research and investment that led to the rapid development of the COVID-19 vaccine that saved millions of lives. Thank you.
Good. This first shape
And
is
over
all
the
set.
past 4 years, you have been personally targeted by extreme narratives of the origins of the COVID-19
So I guess
pandemic
we do
and
that
the U.S.
one,
government's response to it.
Use the screwdriver's rule
They
to
began
back
in
the screws
enforcement
in the shape.
retaliation to wisdom you offer that contradicted the reckless and dangerous therapeutic recommendations by President Trump and have remained part of House Republicans' political playbook. These extreme narratives have been the bedrock of the Select Subcommittee's Republican-led probe and the untenable inferences they've somehow drawn despite the overwhelming evidence that it is inconvenient to those narratives. The evidence uncovered from more than 425,000 pages of documents and 20 closed-door interviews of current and former federal officials has undermined the extreme narratives behind the Republicans' own probe. As I alluded to at the beginning of this hearing, my Democratic colleagues and I are committed to speaking objectively and truthfully about what the evidence shows, and this is what it shows. Dr. Fauci did not fund research through the EcoHealth Alliance grant that caused the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Fauci did not lie about gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China. Dr. Fauci did not orchestrate a campaign to suppress the lab leak theory. These findings are apparent from the evidence. In fact, this much was clear by the time of Dr. Fauci's 2-day transcribed interview this past January. In 5 months since, the Select Subcommittee has conducted several more closed-door interviews and reviewed several thousand more pages of documents. This additional evidence, Dr. Fauci's testimony today, has only made Republicans' claims less plausible and more preposterous. And when I was named ranking member of the Select Subcommittee, I made a commitment to follow the facts and objectively analyzing the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Select Subcommittee is to meaningfully improve our nation's preparedness for future pandemics, and we must take an objective approach to the factual and scientific evidence available to us. The origins of the COVID-19 pandemic remain uncertain. I would like to remind my Republican colleagues that uncertainty is not an opportunity for them to author fiction for partisan gain. It could have been a lab leak, and it could have been an animal transmission. And at the cost of meaningfully advancing our understanding of COVID-19's origins, Republicans have levied extreme allegations of creating SARS-CoV-2 against Dr. Fauci. The result is that Republicans' own probe has failed to shed any additional light on essential questions for the subcommittee. In fact, we're actually entering the fourth quarter of this Congress and this Select Subcommittee on Corona's pandemic. And what have we focused on? It's not an objective investigation on the origin is either lab leak or animal transmission. We have spent the vast majority of time, like in this hearing, with Republicans trying to prove that Dr. Fauci and Collins funded research through EcoHealth that created the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and in order for that to be true, it is dependent on proving the lab leak theory to be true. So it has not been an objective investigation as to whether or not the virus came from a lab or an animal transmission in order to prevent and prepare for the next pandemic. It has been to push this narrative. And this hearing is their climax, their star witness to finally prove their narrative. And they did not do so. Instead of focusing on solutions like fortifying our public health workforce and infrastructure, securing domestic supply chain of vital public health equipment and medications, or equipping schools, churches, synagogues, mosques, businesses to safely stay open during the next decade novel viral pandemic. Instead, they focused on accusations without evidence.
Open this one up.
And it seemed like even though the evidence was there, that the accusations were false, it didn't matter. They still accused him on a cover-up, suppressing the truth, that he initiated, prompted, or edited the Proximal Origins paper, that he funded a gain of research that created the SARS-CoV-2 virus, even that he received royalties. You know, his answers today
plug into something.
is transcribed
Into what?
into
That's Democratic Congressman Raul Ruiz of California. You can hear the contrasting tones between Democrats and Republicans during this hearing involving Dr. Anthony Fauci. I want to take a live look at the radar right now, show you what's going on weather-wise across the country. You can see some of these storms here moving their way from Oklahoma into Arkansas. We'll continue to monitor this. And a reminder as we head to break that we always want to hear what you have to say. Give our Scripps News viewer hotline a call. Toll-free number 1-833-4-SCRIPPS. Share your comments and story ideas with us anytime. We're back out on the scene after this.
Going there?
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on getting you the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. But don't worry, we've got a lot more than that going for us. Woo. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones.
What's a scooter? Like a sonic scooter.
Phones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want smartphones,
Oh, how did I do that? How the hell did I do
we got
that?
that too. We even have flip phones like the Iris Flip. If you're
Can't do that, but I gotta go up.
you just want something simple. And now, we have watches.
We do.
No matter what device you choose, you'll be happy to know that if your data needs change,
No problem.
with our Smart Flex features, you don't have to sweat it. Like say you're on a road trip out west and end up using a bunch of data. We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as $5. Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty, so you only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores and I tell you?
Why?
Get these phones sent to me?
Why is it like that?
Well, our work
You
with
gotta go
customer
up, go
service helps
sideways.
switch over. Or I like $15
Up and down, go sideways.
Of course they will.
Sideways.
Easy, easy.
Okay.
Easiest time.
You see that tower out there? It's a beauty. And there are thousands more like it, working hard for me and you, supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of
But
ours.
the
We know how
bar.
important coverage is. And that's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call 1-800-485-8390 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
I've been having stomach troubles. It's either you or citrus. Maybe cinnamon? Now, I've been started by removing a lot of things from my diet and then adding them back in one at a time until I find a culprit. Or I can find out what might actually be bothering me before removing and adding foods back in again. I'm gonna do that.
Today's
I'm gonna make a copy of it.
It's Scripps News Live.
Found that again.
It's the
Make
biggest
another?
orchestra across the country on the national rainforest. And it's all on Scripps
You
News.
thought it's already been duplicated. Okay, so can't make a copy of it. You can only make two.
Studio in Missoula, Montana, and this is America.
It's the other one goes in here.
Scripps News takes you back to the backgrounds.
We're reading between the lines there.
American Tonight with Marisa Giorgio. Tonight at 8. Only on Scripps News.
Welcome back. What's going on in the scene of the State Department for its daily briefing. Here's spokesperson Matthew Miller.
Oppose it. In fact, opposed it over the weekend. But the case that he made and that we will continue to make is that this is a proposal that is in the long-term security interest of Israel. It's obviously in the long-term interest of the Palestinian people as well. But this is a chance to not just come to an end to the conflict in Gaza and return home to their families, but help solve the conflict in the north of Israel, which is displacing tens of thousands of Israelis, and finally bring further integration with the region, which is in Israel's long-term security interests.
And on the other side, you make the case of how it's great for Israel. What does Hamas get out of it? And I'm not asking because I think or that they should necessarily get something out of it.
Yeah.
But
All right,
it's a negotiation, and there's always give and take.
So I kinda,
what's the side
that's
for
that.
Hamas, do you think?
So let me talk about what the Palestinian people get I know that's not the exact question that you asked, but it is a different question, but I'm going to answer both of them. So the Palestinian, because they ought to be the same. They ought to be the same answer, but it might not be. You're right. Palestinian people get into the conflict in Gaza, an immediate ceasefire. They get a surge of humanitarian assistance, 600 trucks a day. We are ready with international partners to begin the reconstruction of Gaza. Incredible that they get to return to their homes and their neighborhoods, and those who have lost their homes get the ability to start to rebuild those homes. Now, this pertains to Hamas. Look, if Sinwar decides that he's safe in his home,
so that's a big, a little.
He feels safe.
Immediate.
That's an assessment he can make, but I think it is very clearly in the interest of the Palestinian people, and we would hope, given that this proposal is nearly identical to the one that Hamas submitted just 7 weeks ago, that they would not move the goalposts now and try to walk away from it.
All right, Matthew Miller at the podium there at the State Department. For the audience leaving us, your local programming is next. So if you're sticking with us, much more headed to Joanne's.
Sometimes it's hard to see past the looming repair and replacement costs all around your house. Finally, you can stop seeing money and start saving money. With First American Home Warranty, First American covers the systems and appliances you depend on every day. Air conditioning, refrigerator, washer and dryer, electrical, plumbing, even your garage door opener, and more.
It's on fun getting into a difficult question.
Replace, washer fixed, with our upstairs and downstairs AC units fixture replaced.
If there's one guarantee of homeownership, it's that things are going to break down. That's why I tell all my customers, get First American before your next repair. There's always something that's going to break. When an appliance or system breaks down, First American sends a trusted contractor to fix it. And if they can't repair the covered item, we'll make sure they replace it.
When you put in a request for service, it's like that.
We have a contractor out within 24 hours.
Looks like there's
He said, I didn't want you guys to go another day.
where the other one is.
As a contractor, they're so easy to deal with. They truly want me to do right
Looks
by
like
them.
there's room for
Members pay
two.
low
I
monthly
wonder
rates,
where
unlimited claims, and
where's the
24/7
other
customer service.
I'm
And filing a claim
found
does
on
not
the
increase
ball.
your rate.
We've saved thousands of dollars from First American that we've been able to reinvest in.
I looked at more than one, and this was the best.
First American has been a trusted name for decades.
All right.
Customers on major review sites. They all throw what they said they're gonna do, so that's everything.
So with all the repairs, the flood has been paid for many times over.
And now, you can lock in your low monthly rate. All plans include a no questions asked, money back guarantee, and flexible payment options, so you can never pay for covered repairs again. Don't miss out. Ask about today's special bonus offer. Call 1-800-239-1882 now, or go online to get your free no obligation quote. So call now.
So I got a match or what? I'm gonna. Is this like hieroglyphics?
Hello, thank you for joining us on the scene. I'm Chris Stewart. Here's some of the live events that we're following right now. Take a live look here at your screen. Dr. Anthony Fauci just finished testifying on Capitol Hill. This was a hearing that started around 10 o'clock this morning. It was very heated at times as he took questions from Republicans about origins of COVID-19 as well as his response to the COVID-19 pandemic. We're also keeping a close eye in Wilmington, Delaware. That is where Hunter Biden's federal gun trial is underway. Jury selection beginning today. Keeping a close eye on the radar as well. You see a line of storms there moving its way across Oklahoma into Arkansas. But we're going to begin this half hour at the State Department holding its daily briefing. Here's spokesperson Matthew Miller.
Is that it funds because it makes it more difficult for Israel to work with its allies and its partners in the neighborhood. So, in addition to the long-term security interests that we think this proposal would help address, in addition to bringing hostages home, which is obviously in the national interest of Israel, it addresses the very real short, medium security challenges that they face.
Maybe I got a match.
In their interest, and that's the case that we will continue to make. But the president was clear is that we recognize there are people in Israel, including the Israeli government, that oppose it, and we continue to make that case, and we expect that the government of Israel will too.
Just follow on two things with that. First of all, in the proposal itself, in the president's remarks, using the Hamas basically can't do another October 7th attack. In terms of what's the assessment for that, what's the basis for that? Is there anything else that needs to be done to ensure that outcome? Basically, under this, would Hamas need to more formally lay down some arms? Is there some sort of settlement that would be involved to make sure that that's the case?
So let me separate two parts of that question, because I think they're slightly different. One is just a question of capability, and Hamas clearly does not have the capabilities it had on October 7th when it launched that horrific terrorist attack. It has seen its leadership degraded, not all, but significantly degraded. It has seen a great deal of its personnel killed or captured. It has seen a great deal of its military materiel destroyed, and not just the weapons themselves, but the underground factories that they were using to produce more weapons that they used on October 7th. Those have been, in many cases, destroyed by Israel. So, in many ways, an incredibly diminished organization from the one that it was on October 7th, and we do not believe could conduct an attack anything like the scale and scope that did on October 7th. Now,
It's a good letter.
Absolutely. Hamas launched rockets against Israel just last week, and Israel needs to continue to defend itself against that threat. But this goes to the point that we ultimately think you cannot address this threat with just a military solution. This is what I was getting into the other day when I said this idea of pursuing a total victory, which the president spoke to. That just a military campaign in itself will, without a doubt, continue to kill and capture members of Hamas. It's also going to serve as a recruitment device for other potential Hamas members that will come and join and replenish the ranks. And so you have to have not just a military campaign, but a political path forward as well. And that is to get around to the second part of what I deem the second part of your question. What the Secretary and other members of the administration have been working on with other partners in the region since intensively since early January. And that is a political path that provides for the reconstruction of Gaza, for the security of Gaza. And so when you look at this proposal, obviously the first phase is for the immediate release of some hostages and a ceasefire. And then during phase one, you would negotiate phase two, and in phase two and in phase three, we would pursue what we've returned the day after. And it's how you ultimately come up with a different governing authority for the West or Gaza that is not Hamas. And I'll just make clear, in case there's any question, when the Secretary gave a speech in November in Tokyo, he made quite clear that one of the principles that we see for the end of this conflict is that Hamas cannot continue to govern Gaza. Period. Full stop. Sorry for the incredibly long answer.
Just one thing that's something just in the proposal, just the language major population centers, something you were talking about. Is there a list of the major population centers are, or is there something
So it just means what it means, just major population centers, and partly that is because the population of Gaza has been fluid, or where the population of Gaza is has been fluid over the past months because we've seen people move from one place to another. So it means major areas in Gaza where you have people gathered together. And so that's the point of it. I don't want to get into it anymore from here, but we're going to go to
doesn't do it.
Yeah, I just want to follow specifically on this assessment of Hamas military capabilities.
It just does not do anything.
Objection to that line in the president's speech about what they are capable of doing. John Kirby has said that this stems from U.S. intelligence and military assessments as to what the people are. Are those assessments something that the Israelis share in terms of what Hamas is capable of? And then secondly, is that the same bar for the Israelis? It seems to be that that's at the cost of whether they're going to agree to a permanent ceasefire or not.
So it's left arrow dot,
Military intelligence assessment.
right arrow,
As I said, our assessment.
3 lines. All right. I get you.
Launched on October 7th. It is in connection with terrorist organization. Again, it's not being a threat. And just right there. Hamas continues to fight Israeli soldiers in Gaza. It continues to launch rocket attacks in Gaza. Those need to be dealt with.
Left arrow.
In terms of, but in terms of,
Like that.
where the proposal, where this roadmap,
Right arrow.
there are some provisions that would need to be negotiated as we transition from.
There you go.
And that's what I was asking, my comments,
All right.
we don't think, this idea that we really pursue a military campaign in perpetuity to really,
Yeah, we got those working.
security interests of Israel, Palestine, interests of the Palestinian people, and so that's the point that we continue to make.
Would there be any specifically what the Israelis assess?
No,
Is there a
yes.
difference between the U.S. assessment and the Israelis?
Again,
Still don't change.
I can answer that question without getting into what their assessment is, I can only speak to the United States.
Okay, so speaking of the United States, is a recent assessment, because presumably Hamas capabilities.
Maybe now I can
Agreed
work
until this point. Has something changed where they reached a sort of?
There you go. Okay, so this one I'm gonna make it like this.
We have seen their capabilities steadily degraded
I got
over the past 8 months of this campaign. Obviously, you saw it first in the north and then in communists. And then significantly, construction tunnels that house Hamas's major weapon manufacturing programs, his IDF made those quite public when they did it. And so when you look at Hamas's capabilities, I think it's quite clear that while they still pose a terrorist threat and we will back Israel's right to deal with that threat, we do not believe they can, again, launch attack the size scale of October 7th.
So the U.S. is doing unilaterally assessments. There remains to be a difference as to what the Israelis think Hamas is capable of.
I just can't speak, it is a U.S. assessment, I can't speak to that, yeah.
And one last one, I mean, if this, as you guys have put it, is the best possible deal that negotiators to this point have been able to present Hamas, what is the plan if they say no?
So I'm not going to deal with hypotheticals. As we made quite clear, there's no reason they should say no. This is essentially the proposal that they made. Now, if they want to move the goalposts and back away from what was essentially the proposal they put forward several weeks ago,
I gotta do the other one first.
to explain to the world why he's rejected this proposal. And that's what the president was making clear on Friday when we don't get why people criticize Israel. We don't get why people criticize the United States for our support for Israel. But this is a proposal to actually reach an immediate ceasefire, to surge humanitarian assistance in, and ultimately set the conditions for an end to the war. Why wouldn't Hamas accept it? And so we have welcomed the statements that have come out in the Arab world, calling on this deal to be finalized. We have welcomed the statements that we've seen from the G7 and from other leaders calling for this deal to be finalized.
Okay.
Hamas can speak to what it would do, but I'll have to explain that answer if they do reject this proposal. That is, as I said, manifestly in the interest of the Palestinian people.
If they do reject it, though, you would expect the Israeli campaign to continue to the U.S. continue supporting Israel as it pursues that.
I'm not going to deal with hypothetical,
That one
but
goes
it
there.
does make quite clear that the campaign would continue absent a ceasefire. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to just try and understand what the space for, we're talking about going from phase 1 to phase 2 in this deal. If you're saying, you still have this strong line that Hamas can't run Gaza in the future, but you're also saying that there's no path to total victory, so total sort of eradication of Hamas.
By military means alone is what I mean by that.
So what you're asking is for Hamas to peacefully, the
Come on.
members of Hamas to peacefully disarm and sort of just disappear. What is the actual sort of proposal here for someone like, Sinwar, who's there, he's a leader. You're saying him and his
Is a must. I'm not wrong in the future of Gaza. So what are they going to be?
So, because that is
They never match up, though.
clearly an issue that still needs to be negotiated, we haven't gotten acceptance of this proposal yet, but should it be accepted, phase 2, and all these related questions are things that will have to be negotiated as part of the process, I'm not going to do that negotiation here in public. That said, we have long made clear that we need to wash away at its arms. And that continues to be our position.
You have kind of moved. Sorry, watching that.
Maybe.
Take questions particularly related to the deal. The President Biden says Israel has sent Hamas a ceasefire deal that would also return hostages.
Maybe this one's gonna match
They're
this
saying
one.
Hamas still has not accepted that deal. We'll
Yeah.
continue to monitor the questions he is getting right now. I'm sure the radar is taking a live look at the severe weather making its way across Oklahoma right now. You see the radar on the right, on the left, that is a live look at Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can see some of the rainy weather there as that line storm works its way into Arkansas. We'll continue to monitor this and so much more. We're back out on the scene after this break.
When car breaks down, our race cover driver would call the pit crew. You should call Endurance and never pay for covered car repairs again. Just like a girl.
As a certified mechanic, I always recommend my customers have an auto protection plan. You never know when a breakdown can strike a unique coverage that you can count on.
Without Endurance, a broken AC unit can cost over $800. Transmission over $3,000, and an engine over $4,000. With Endurance, you're covered. And even better, you pick the mechanic you trust. Just remember, you gotta call Endurance when your car's working to be covered when it's not.
Endurance covers nearly every car on the road, up to 20 years old, no matter the mileage, against costly breakdowns.
With Endurance, all major parts are covered, plus hundreds more.
Endurance has paid out over $8,700.
Looks like it's
Unlike
supposed to
other
match
companies
that.
I've dealt with as a mechanic, Endurance is the direct administrator of the plan.
That.
That means no middleman and
Then you
no
get
runaround. We just call Endurance direct.
Endurance has been putting money back into American pockets for nearly 2 decades. And if you break down, they'll jump your battery, tow, deliver gas, change the flat, unlock your car, and more.
But this one has this. That one has it. That one don't.
Endurance came to the rescue. Just look at what thousands of real drivers are saying about Endurance on top review sites. Call now and we'll upgrade you to a full year of elite benefits, free, a $2,000 value.
One easy phone call, endless covered car repairs.
Okay.
So make the call. Find out how much you can
that.
save with Endurance.
Right now, you can get $300 off any plan. Plus, a year of elite
Don't
benefits, a
match
$2,000 value, free. All backed by a 30-day money-back
This
guarantee.
goes in the middle.
So, who's gonna pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Call 1-800-860-1846 for a free quote.
Is your shower trying to tell you something? Is getting in and out of the bathtub becoming a safety concern? Are you worried about the cost of a bathroom remodel
Like
that
that?
can go on for weeks and weeks? Well, now you can have a gorgeous new bathroom shower that's safer at a price you can afford with a one-day jacuzzi
Like
bath
that?
remodel.
It was done in the same day. We did not have to wait. It is amazing.
I could give this whole experience
Ah,
to me.
it's gotta be
I definitely wish I would have gone sooner.
From
Like this.
soft-close shower doors and adjustable shower heads to features like grab bars and custom seats that combine safety and style. It's never been easier. Get your free design consultation, schedule your one-day installation, and start loving your new bathroom shower right away.
Only weeks left to get
Yeah,
ready.
it's almost there.
And no interest and no payments for up to 1 year.
That's how it goes.
JacuzziBathRemodel.com or call 800-993-0259. That's 800-993-0259. Call now.
Welcome back. Here's some of the events that we're following live right now. You can see on the top left of your screen outside the federal courthouse where Hunter Biden's felony gun trial jury selection is underway. Some people walking out there. The Dow, tough start to the week on Wall Street, down more than 285 points. Also,
Right there.
the briefing at the UN Security Council. Now the ambassador from South Korea is the president of the council for a month. But let's head to the State Department where the briefing is underway.
So, the violence that we have seen in the West Bank is unacceptable. It must stop. Civilians are never legitimate targets of violence. They must be protected. We urge Israel to do everything in its power to prevent these attacks in the first place, and when they're not prevented, to hold those responsible accountable. We urge them to work with the Palestinian Authority to that end. And we have also made clear that we are willing to take our own actions to hold people accountable. You've seen us impose visa restrictions and economic sanctions on individuals and entities who perpetrate or support violence in the West Bank, and we will not hesitate to continue to do so.
The Israeli leaders, the Senator said that Israel is the chief impediment to Gaza. How do you assess what she said?
So I won't speak to her comments. I'll let my USAID colleagues speak to them. I think if you look at the full substance, she was speaking to the conflict ongoing being the chief impediment to getting aid in, and that is manifestly the case. You can get aid, even when you can get aid to Kerem Shalom, it's often difficult to get it distributed inside Gaza because people.
You know, that's what's on the back.
Ongoing conflict, that's been a challenge.
That doesn't look like on the back.
That we will continue to work through. But two things with in that regard. Number one,
on the back is
that's officials from the U.S. government who met in Cairo
there on the front.
With officials from
maybe I gotta match this.
And from Israel to try to work on a solution.
Okay, yellow.
Rafa Gate. There were constructive discussions.
All right, so
and we'll continue to pursue.
the one on the left should be
Rafa open because that would be another gate to allow humanitarian in. And then second, back to the bigger point.
So you get
if
the
we
cross
could get a
section
ceasefire across the agreed ceasefire proposal, we could get 600 trucks a day coming in, and not just coming in, but it would be much easier for them to move safely around Gaza and get humanitarian aid in the hands of
So yellow, and then yellow here.
Prime Minister Netanyahu said neither Hamas nor the Palestinian Authority will play a role in the day after Gaza. Do you agree that the Palestinian Authority should be
in between
excluded from playing any role?
No, we do not. We might be quite clearly see a role for the Palestinian Authority in the governance of Gaza.
All right, let's try that.
Is this kind of that might be not acceptable for Israel?
Let's try that.
This proposal that the president put forward?
So when it comes to all of those issues about who would govern Gaza at the end of this conflict,
so it should be
one is something that we have been, as you know well, discussing with Arab partners in the region. It's been a good subject of the work that we have done, and as well as the work that we have done to encourage the Palestinian Authority to take steps to reform itself. So not just Israelis could have faith in the Palestinian Authority, but so the Palestinian people could have faith in the Palestinian Authority governing as a non-corrupt, faithful actor in the interest of the Palestinian people. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is that we're going to continue to engage with the Israeli government about this. And there are a diversity of views inside the Israeli government about the Palestinian Authority, the role that they ought to play and the future that they ought to play in governance in Gaza. And we're going to continue to make clear then that we think a revitalized, reformed, fully functional Palestinian Authority is in the best interest of the Palestinian people, it's in the best interest of Israel, and it's especially in the best interest of Israel's security.
All right.
Okay, I want to have another go at
Yellow,
this question
close and
of
four.
Hamas.
Okay.
The president said that Hamas capabilities have been degraded to the degree that they don't pose a threat equivalent
in between
to October 7th.
Close.
Would you entertain or accept some kind of political presence for Hamas? Or do you think that it's going to be a situation analogous to the de-Ba'athification that we have seen in Iraq after the war, which is de-Hamanization, the term applies, but basically that nobody will be allowed to take part in any kind of shape or form, of a civil authority or local authority, whatever. We're not talking about a military relate.
So I'm not going to get into any level of detail because we're just not at that point in the process, but I will say at a high level, it is the strongly held view of the United States that we will continue to push that Hamas can play no role in the governance of Gaza. It has lost any legitimate claim it ever had. We didn't think it had one to begin with. It's lost any legitimate claim to participate in the governance of Gaza by virtue of launching a brutal massacre of 1,200 Israelis on October 7th.
And finally, Saudis and Qataris has condemned an Israeli Knesset attempt, or rebel actually, to label UNRWA as a terrorist organization. Do you condemn
Yeah, it's close to
attempt by
there.
Israeli Knesset to do that.
And
So
directly across.
I was not aware of that vote. Obviously,
Yeah,
we
directly
it's a
across.
terrorist organization. There were members of UNRWA who UNRWA provided evidence
There, directly
and
across.
participated in some way in the attacks of October 7th, but that is not but that is not actions by UNRWA, the body itself. So that's our general position, but I can't speak to this specific vote because I'm not familiar with the.
There you go.
To clarify this, UNRWA has provided evidence that some members were
All right. Yeah, so simple as
I
stupid.
should say correct. They briefed us on evidence that they found. Yeah,
Now
at the
what?
beginning of this, I've gone through this a few times. At the beginning of this entire
I guess I gotta look at the back.
to UNRWA, a lot of people think it was we took the action that we took to suspend UNRWA's funding because of something the Israeli government told us, and that's not the case. It was UNRWA that came to us and said they were aware of these allegations.
So what,
They had
translator?
looked into them,
Translator?
found evidence that certain members of UNRWA had participated in the attacks of October 7th, and so had suspended and fired 13, 14, I don't remember the exact number now, and that's why we took the action we did.
Matthew Miller answering questions there at the State Department related to Israel's war in Gaza. We just learned an update that is confirming the deaths of
That makes
4 more
sense.
hostages, including 3 elderly men who were seen in the Hamas video begging for their release. We'll be right back.
Oh, that goes into something else?
Sponsored by Oak Street Health.
That's wrong? Especially, I've never seen one like this. That's too bad. This device doesn't seem capable of locating it.
I used to think all doctors were the same. Then I switched.
Chapter complete. That was it?
You see, this is my
Yeah.
doctor's office.
I guess it's.
Instead of waiting around for me,
All the answers are right in front of you.
keep me healthy and feeling good.
Alright.
You got it.
No sugar, right?
And the best part.
So what else? Chapter 3 now?
Experience with people my age.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in caring for older adults like you, with a focus on keeping you healthy. So don't wait. Call today. Diane, we're ready for you.
Your people get to know me through fashion.
By listening.
This guy takes all the notes, so our doctor is all eyes on me, and I never rush back.
Oh, chapter 4.
Ready to go?
We get to know you better with longer appointments.
Yeah, okay.
Including
That's how it works.
and next day appointments.
Alright.
Who gets their own?
Okay, chapter 4.
Whether it's doctors, nurses, social workers, mental health support, even someone to help me.
It's 2 o'clock in New York. Let's see,
Together. For me, myself, and
let's see what Donald Trump is up to.
not to mention a 24/7 patient support line.
We customized a plan for him, and we did the same for you.
Getting the care you need has never been easier.
These things been on a wild ride since Trump's guilty verdict. Not happy. It's been up and down, maybe like a couple of months at most.
They can gather all your medical records and help
Ain't it fucking?
so switching to their doctors.
It's not news anymore. It's sensationalism. It's like we're living in the world of tabloids still. Oh, it's going there.
Call
47,
800-967-2157
almost $2.
schedule a visit. See why we are the only primary
See,
care
on the last 5 days, it's this is that was before the verdict.
They're the same
This
way.
was let's see, when was the verdict? Verdict was at 5 o'clock. Something like that.
Okay, let's do this now. So, mind to be as great as we can. So, be your strongest.
A veteran's brief with deliberate details and modern
Yeah, this was the verdict right here.
for the indoor enthusiast.
This is the verdict.
Begin at FEMA.com.
345, yeah. And so it's been on a steady decline, right? A sharp drop, really. From a high of 49 to 47. Oh, that's only $2. Oh well. But so far right now, it opened at 449.09.
Here's Matthew Miller.
And when it shot up to 50.59, and then it just started coming down. Trying to go up again by 11, and then it's just down, 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 down. We do, we just going to go up again. So I guess it's gonna close around, what, 47, 43? It's gonna close around in the 47.50 range, plus or minus 20 points. But, yeah, it's going down. When the habitual liar tells lie over and over again. I got 5 likes and 4 likes.
So, I will just say that.
More confusion.
Disgusting tactic.
People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because of the color of the skin. Run, 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 but you can't hide. Anyway, so let's get back to the game.
That's a very different thing.
What's it say here? You found a letter.
I'm gonna have to consult with people here whether trash carrying balloons.
Evacuation.
I'm not trying to be flippant, I just have to consult with people here.
November 10th. Redacted, along redacted manner. At this point, we are not even certain whether it is natural, of its natural origin, or artificial. Extracting this item proved to be especially complicated given its location inside of redacted. Shipped to the museum separately under reference number redacted. That aside, the usual physical nature of this item protected it when redacted. Protected it when the ship something.
It's the perfect place for me to tell you all
You can erase the redactions.
your phones.
That's definitely shipped though.
We probably got it.
Ship.
We have the top smartphones from all the major companies.
Ship.
Cameras you want?
Something free fall?
We got it. If you want a smartphone with lots
The
of
ship.
bells and whistles but won't break the bank,
Which
that too. We even have flip phones like the Oculus Flip. For someone that doesn't need all
The energy it releases is quite enormous, all while staying totally cold. Following this discovery, the military team attached to this operation mentioned many potential applications. High energy release, used with caution.
We can simply flex you up to the next data tier for as little as
Even
$5.
big bone.
Then, when you get home, you can flex right back down with no penalty.
Nothing
so
on
you
the back?
only pay for what you actually need.
With Consumer Cellular, you get the exact same nationwide coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost.
I know what you're thinking.
All right.
I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet. Can I get these phones sent to me?
All right.
Yes, you can.
Well, our award-winning customer service helped me switch over. Or I like $15
Looks like a little
for me
switch there. Looks like a little door.
Of course they will.
Is it easy?
Little door there. Okay, let's do the switch.
See the car right there?
That's easy.
There's thousands more like
Found it.
supplying 5G coverage to this beautiful nation of ours. We know how important coverage is. And that's why we offer a risk-free guarantee. If you're not satisfied within 30 days of activation, you can pay nothing. Oh, look.
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign
Goes
up
in
on
there.
June 31st. Call 1-800-485-8390 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Like a
I
barnacle.
know my
So I guess
30
it
years
goes in
seeing
there.
many patients who have excessive sweating. It is very much a confidence killer. Excessive sweating is not something you have to live with. I recommend Carpe for my patients.
Carpe is by far the most effective
Alright.
antiperspirant I've ever used.
Effective and affordable. It's a game changer.
Choose a solution that stops the odor of sweat while being gentle on skin.
Come on.
Quickly that works. But even if you like it.
Huh. A small pyramid.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
No, take a peek right in, something.
The next hour will take you everywhere you
note.
need to be around. Some live events are following right now. We're on the scene of the State Department, where a daily briefing is underway.
3, I guess that's a 2.
Week for the Dow. Tough start to the month.
3-7.
Trading here on Wall Street. You can see it down more than 300 points. And jury
Nothing on
selection
the back.
underway today.
2-3-7, right?
Biden's truck. He is facing 3 felons.
Say 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
This trial playing out in Wilmington, Delaware. Prosecutors say that he lied.
That doesn't look like a 3 up there though.
When he did not disclose that he was using drugs.
7, 9, goes all the way to 9, so that would be 1, 0,
It says that he's being treated
9.
unfairly. by the Justice
It doesn't look,
Our
it's
legal
a 7, really. It looks more like a 7 than anything else.
She joins us now around the
But
scene.
logically looking at it, it would be a 2.
You saw inside.
Well, one of the main things is the support that Hunter Biden has. The First Lady is here inside the courtroom with him. She arrived this morning, sometime before 9, before they started. His sister is also there, along with his wife. I also just spoke with a man who said he's been friends with President Joe Biden for 57 years.
Okay.
A civil rights leader here in this community, and that he wanted to show up, to show support for Hunter Biden. But that is kind of the sideshow. The main thing right now is the jury selection that is underway. For example, we were told that the jury pool could be around 250 people, and they will have to narrow that down to 12 jurors and 4 alternates. And that may sound easy, but it's been quite a task for the judge, Mary Ellen, the right, that to narrow this down.
A stone. What could I do with a rock?
There's this list that's called voir dire, and that's where they go through the process of picking the jury members. And what the judge had to do this morning is read.
It's kind of a fun game, although I was expecting something more challenging.
People who showed up here for jury selection.
But it is fun. It's a stone. What do I do with it?
For them to narrow it down to about 41 potential jurors.
And I
choose 12 people and have 4 alternates. But the fact that they have to narrow things down, attorneys from each side may go in and have strikes. They might strike someone who they don't think is fair.
It looks like you gotta make a
process. But even though they have 41 people right now,
kind of pattern.
they may not have enough.
Where did they find that much
In the
dust?
afternoon session that is set to start at
Saturday's right?
2:30, so in about 28 minutes, the judge will have to go
found
into a second panel of jurors. They had 50 so far that they had to go through. So now they're going to have to go through a second panel of jurors, go through the final questioning, 47 questions, and try to figure out if they can get people who are fair and impartial. And if you're wondering what are some of the questions that are being asked, the main question number 2 out of the 47 is, have you heard anything about this particular case? Some people have. They've heard things on social media. They've heard things through radio stations, through family members. One person said he was all the way in Germany, came back to the United States yesterday, and it was being broadcasted there. So the attorneys have to go through the process of getting someone, even if they've heard about this very high-profile case, these people have to tell you that they can be impartial in the process. And then on the flip side of that, there are folks who directly tell people inside the courtroom that they cannot be impartial. For example, there was one lady who was kind of beating around the bush a little bit about why she thought she couldn't be impartial, and then she, after being kind of pushed by the judge and attorneys, she came out and said, I don't have good things to say about the former president. This is a case about the former president, but our current president. This is a case about President Joe Biden's son, but there are also political implications. So because people believe that there is a connection, even though there is not, and even though the current president Joe Biden really tries to stay out of this, many people's political views could be coming into play here. There is also another person who worked with Dr. Joe Biden at a university, at a college here in Delaware. So there are all of these kind of small town aspects that are playing in where people could be impartial or they may not be impartial. So this process will continue throughout the afternoon, Chris. And a bit of news here, there is a possibility. I don't want to give information that we don't quite have as yet, but there is a possibility that they could have the jury seated either later this afternoon or sometime in the first half of tomorrow. We initially thought this case would go from 3 to 6 days, then we were told up to 2 weeks, but it really appears as if the judge is really pushing to get things to move along much more quickly, especially
there's a little gap there.
People on this jury who pointed out the fact that they have pre-existing engagements like vacations that have already been paid and booked, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, it is that time of year. So, Abijoy, once the jury is set, what can we expect to happen through the course of this trial?
So
we will start out, as is with tradition in this legal justice system, with opening statements. We will have opening remarks from both sides on what they plan to try to prove.
I guess I gotta get that go from there to there.
In previous high-profile cases in the past, the burden here is on the prosecution. And as we mentioned before, Hunter Biden faces 3 federal gun charges after he bought a weapon in 2018, and then he wrote about being addicted, being on drugs, and then buying that weapon, which is a violation of federal law. So this is what the jury members, once they're seated, can expect to hear from the prosecution, opening statements. The defense will also come in, but the burden here is on the prosecution. And I didn't mention much about Hunter Biden being inside this courtroom today. At times when we had breaks, which were very few, he would get up, hug his mom and his sister who was there for the first half of the day, and also other people who were there to support him as well.
And Abijoy, if found guilty, what could Hunter Biden face?
Well, we have to kind of wait to see exactly what the law says about that. That's something that I had to dig a little bit more into, but this is a federal gun charge. So I had to dig a little bit more into the law to figure out exactly what the sentence could be for Hunter Biden. That's something that I have to get back to you on, Chris. I believe it's a few years, but I have to look into the details of that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this afternoon session goes. Abijoy Burnett, our legal affairs correspondent, in the courtroom today for Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. Joining me now, criminal law expert Lou Shapiro. Lou, thanks for being here. How strong is the government's case against Hunter Biden?
Well, good to be back with you, Chris. That's a very good question. It's a tough case when you have a defendant.
I'm gonna look at the bottom and the sides and the top. I can't see the bottom.
Doing the conduct for which he's charged for. So I think the defense has quite enough for battle, and the mode of attack I think they're going to be using is was Biden himself really an addict at that moment when he purchased the gun, when he had the gun. In general terms, he might have been an addict during that time period, but perhaps there was those days, those 11 days or so of sobriety, where there is a reasonable doubt as to whether he was an addict at that exact moment that he's being charged with. That's what we can expect from the defense in this case.
So how does Hunter Biden, he's pleading not guilty here, how does he defend himself? Like, to your point, I mean, in the memoir, he talks about being addicted to crack cocaine at the time that he purchased this gun.
So the presentation will sound something like many people, we all know family and friends, colleagues that know someone that has been going through addiction or has been fighting it. And it is a lifelong battle. It's not something that just goes away like the flip of a switch. So when somebody says they are an addict, it doesn't mean they're necessarily using at that time or at that moment.
Look at some other aspect here.
What they are facing in their life, they're doing their best to, take hold of that and deal with it. And that comes to jury selection, by the way, Chris. I think they're going to be looking for jurors who probably have had some experiences with people that have gone through drug addiction. They might be more compassionate to someone like Hunter Biden in this case.
How often are cases related to this particular charge actually brought to trial?
Oh no, they're busting up my doors again.
To be fair, this is a very unusual process.
Or my walls. Not my doors, the walls.
The offer initially was to settle the score and quickly.
They're busting my walls.
Run it down, everybody goes with that point.
They're busting my walls.
Okay. And now Hunter Biden is facing felony federal charges, which are quite serious. I don't believe that if he's convicted, he will do any time on such a case because nobody got hurt. He was dealing with addiction at that time. So in light of those issues, there is a compassionate side to sentencing. I think that would be taken into account. But overall, it's a very unique case. The fact that it's the president's son is unprecedented, and we'll see how this thing turns out.
If Hunter Biden was not the president's son, would he be
busting my balls?
For jury selection?
No. I don't think he would be here today. I think the reason why he was federally prosecuted was because of politics on both sides, Trump being prosecuted, what he's been prosecuted for, and then the right was crying out Hunter Biden seems to be getting a pass, that he's getting preferential treatment by his father. So they're going to have to put pressure on the special prosecutor, especially in light of the fact that we have an election just a few months away. So all that is being taken into account. sadly, politics has definitely crept into our judicial system.
And I know this is playing out, obviously, last week we were talking about former President Donald Trump and those 34 criminal charges in his hush money trial. And I remember going back to the jury selection then, and the question was, can a jury be impartial when Donald Trump is the former president? How much would you expect politics to come into play with this jury in a different situation, but one involving the president's son?
It's inevitable.
They're
And if
busting
you come
my
up with,
balls.
there's going to be panelists that are not going to want anything to do with this, not because of their political beliefs or views, but just because they don't
connect with that.
part of this whole thing. They're scared of being threatened or being bullied, things of that nature. We're even hearing some of those complaints resulting from the Trump jurors in the latest trial. And then there's going to be some maybe that want to be a part of this, see this as something to be, to play a part in history.
That could be there.
There might be jurors that are very eager to be participants in this, so it can run the gamut depending on the profile.
Our criminal law expert, Lou Shapiro, thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Yeah, Chris.
And as we head break, let's go on the scene once again to the State Department. Here's a live look. Spokesperson Matthew Miller is at the podium. We'll get back to that when we return.
Let's see, you got a lock here. Now make a copy of the lock.
It's time to get to know the easy-to-use United Healthcare U-Card. It's a member ID card that can help give you more of what matters. And it's all yours, automatically, when you join a United Healthcare Dual Complete plan. With this plan and your U-Card, you'll get more benefits to help you. Top of what original Medicare covers.
Okay, so I guess I gotta line them up to use that to make credit.
With your U-Card in hand, you can use the credit.
It's not like I gotta line them up with that.
And over-the-counter supplies at thousands of retailers nationwide or online. Use the U-Card to pay for OTC items you get regularly, like paint relievers, sunscreen, or your daily vitamins. You can even help pay for your utilities, like electric, gas, and internet. It's the card that makes things easier. And as your member ID card, the United Healthcare U-Card lets you access a large network of Medicare Advantage doctors, therapists, specialists, and other providers. To help care for your whole health, Dual also gives you $0 copays for routine every dental services, plus prescription coverage. You're going to get more benefits. But with United Healthcare by your side, you get more support, making your healthcare easier to manage. Your healthcare ready to help you make sure you have more of what matters to you. You want more people on Medicare and Medicaid choose Dual Complete than any other dual plan. And get the United Healthcare U-Card.
Oh,
Call us today. Learn about United Healthcare Dual Complete Plan and how to get more of what matters to you.
Before we ever did a product to a patient, I tried on myself. So I started taking Super Beats and I said, wow, Super Beats is a game changer.
It's giving me the energy that I want, the blood pressure support that I need.
Circulation, heart health, and you feel like you can get things done.
I really am feeling a difference.
I just love it.
Over 1 million people have put Super Beats blood pressure support supplements to the test. And today, we have over 80,000 5-star ratings and reviews. We're trusted by over 120 pro and college sports teams. Super Beats is the only #1 and cardiologist recommended beef brand for heart health support.
It helps dilate blood vessels. It helps increase my circulation. It's having a beneficial effect on my heart and my energy. It makes me healthier.
My grandkids say, Carmen, I can't keep up with you. Where do you get your energy from? And I said, Super Beats.
Get a free month supply, plus free shipping and a 90-day money-back guarantee on all bundles. Exclusively when you call or visit superbeats.com.
We're back on the scene. A live look here at 4 events we're following right now. The House back in session. We'll keep an eye on that. Tough day on Wall Street thus far. Dow down more than 300 points. The S&P also in the red right now. Jury selection expected to resume at 2:30 in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. That jury selection beginning this morning. And then in the top left, that is the Karen Reed murder trial, a story that is getting a lot of attention. She's accused of killing her boyfriend, who is a Boston police officer. She's pleaded not guilty. She claims that she is the victim of a cover-up right now. A forensic scientist is on the stand. Let's take you back on the scene.
Not hitting this one.
Where the daily briefing there just wrapped up, but let's listen to some of the final moments of what was said there.
The other thing that has to happen before any such arrangement can go forward is calm the gossip. Calm the gossip today. We're trying to get calm the gossip.
That was easy.
One of the benefits that
The second time in 1 year, United States allowed a jailed Pakistani lady who is facing 86 years of sentence in a Texas jail with the allegations of alleged attacks on school in Afghanistan, that is Dr. Siddiqui. So, former Pakistani caretaker was official in a private university, so he was again that your friend Pakistan, a very close
Alright, maybe now I can,
maybe
now I can figure out how this works.
So actually, basically, so you have any information on that, or is there something behind this in Pakistan, or considering that?
So let me take the question. I'm just not familiar with the full details of the case that you mentioned. Go ahead.
Today, Turkey and the ministry, they removed the elected British party Emir of Bakari, and replaced him with a trustee.
Why do I keep on losing my fucking...
So our position on the Kurdistan Workers' Party is well known. It hasn't changed. The PKK was designated as a foreign terrorist organization by the Department of State in 1997. And regarding the specific case you mentioned, I would refer you to the government of Turkey for comment. So I'm sorry, what was that?
Did you say that he was linked with the PKK?
I'm just speaking to our assessment of the PKK broadly.
What's your assessment on that?
As I said, I don't have any specific comment on it.
What's your approach to the Kurdish issue in Turkey? It's been a long time. The Kurdish issue in Turkey, what's the latest approach?
We have made clear our long-term position on it. Many times they don't have any specific. Go ahead, you're going to wrap
You said that you would hope that the Israeli law enforcement would follow through in curtailing violence from settlers in the West Bank. However, on Thursday, last Thursday, the Israeli military raided a vegetable market in Alvina, to be specific, but one of the largest vegetable markets in the West Bank, and which lit on fire. And who is going to hold Israel accountable? The Israeli military in this sense, which
it's going to drive you crazy, bro.
So, a few things. First, I can't speak to that specific raid. Obviously, Israel has the right
to
conduct legitimate
fucking banging on my walls.
Activities in the West Bank. We see them usually to be legitimate. They need to comply with their national humanitarian law.
I can barely stand it for one day.
This particular incident, I can't speak to it at all. When it comes to holding people accountable, we have seen the Israeli government take some actions to police settler violence in the West Bank. We've seen them make arrests. We've seen them hold people accountable. Our assessment hasn't been enough, and so that's all. But I know that's not separating out the two. I can't speak to this one.
That's spokesperson Matthew Miller at the State Department as he wrapped up this briefing today. Many of the questions related to Israel's war in Gaza. As we head to break, a live look now on the scene in New York. The Jerusalem Post Conference is underway right now. Some of the attendees, including New York Mayor Eric Adams, former VP Mike Pence, will monitor this when we come in.
United States Central. They're driving me nuts.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. Our firm has been offering a free book on
I guess I can't do nothing about it.
Since that time, thousands with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them against those responsible.
I'm gonna have to let them fucking annoy me for a month.
Mesothelioma really is all we do, and there is no risk to you. Let us put a plan in place for you and your family. Call now.
Call us at 800-872-5645 or...
The key is to figure out which way this bottom one goes.
Sometimes it's hard to see past the looming repair and replacement costs all around your house. Finally, you can stop seeing money and start saving money with First American Home Warranty. First American covers the systems and appliances you depend on every day. Air conditioning, refrigerator, washer and dryer, electrical, plumbing, even your garage door opener, and more.
We've had our hot water tank replaced, washer fixed, our upstairs and downstairs AC units fixed or replaced.
If there's one guarantee of home ownership, it's that things are going to break down. That's why I tell all my customers, get First American before your next repair. There's always something that's going to break. When an appliance or system breaks down, First American sends a trusted contractor to fix it. We'll make sure they replace it.
When you put in a request for service, it's...
You all gotta connect.
Because he said, I want you guys to go another day. He has a contract.
Oh, wait a minute, these go to the top.
They truly want you to right by their members. Members pay low monthly rates with unlimited plans and 24/7 customer service. And filing a claim does not increase your rate.
This one?
We've saved thousands of dollars with First American, and we've been able to reinvest into our home.
I lived in
What's at the top?
and this was the best. First American has been a trusted name for decades and is highly rated by customers on major review sites. They follow through on what they say we're going to do. That's everything.
So with all the repairs that have come through First American, the plan is being paid for many times over.
And now you can lock in your low monthly rates. Home plans included no questions asked, money back guarantee, and flexible payment options so you can never pay for covered repairs again.
Call 1-800-917-5047. That's 1-800-917-5047 for your free no obligation quote. So call in.
All eyes are going to be on Arizona in 2024. It's such an important state. It's a battleground state. And really, there's just a handful of states that are going to decide who ends up in the White House in November. And Arizona, you have the Hispanic vote, you have the younger voter, you have the older voter. But really, one of the most important voters here in Arizona is the independent voter. And whoever can get the voting one way or the other, that is probably going to decide who takes Arizona. And then around 6 news in Phoenix.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then bottom, I have 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the events that we're following right now. The Jerusalem Post is hosting a conference in New York. We're expecting speakers to be New York Mayor Eric Adams and former Vice President Mike Pence. Also on the scene, where Hunter Biden's jury selection is a federal gun trial underway in Wilmington, Delaware. On a lunch break right now, the jury selection expected to resume at 2:30. We're also keeping a close eye on the House as it is now back in session, and we're also on Wall Street where the Dow continues to be in the red. Now let's go on the scene to just outside of Boston, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. Day 19 for a trial of Karen Reed. She's charged with murdering her boyfriend. His name John O'Keefe. He was a Boston police officer. You're taking a look now at some live testimony from a forensic scientist from the State Police Crime Lab. Let's listen.
They gotta line up perfectly. It looks that way.
just on that court panel.
Okay, so it wasn't taped.
No.
It wasn't blue.
Looks like they gotta line up perfectly.
It was not fixed in any way whatsoever. It's just perched on that vertical panel.
This is not quite lined up.
Correct.
That one's lined up.
And when you remove it, and by the way, you found this at the same time that you found
That's right.
So that hair potentially would have had to make that same 60-mile round trip in the same place. Right.
And this one don't.
And it didn't take you much to remove that hair, correct?
I picked it up with your
This one
tweezers.
don't match.
Didn't give you any
That
resistance.
one's part of
Not that I
that.
recall.
Go to the top.
I'd like to take a look at that hair if you can. I know you've seen it just a few minutes ago. I want to look at it one more time. These are exhibits 165 and 173. We can start with 165 on the poster. Does that look like a close-up view? Actually,
May I do this a different way? Right? This is actually permission.
How do they all commit? How do they all commit?
Yes.
Goes like that. Goes like that.
Very briefly,
That one just goes like that.
if you take a look at those 4 photographs, tell me if you recognize
That one's
the
not
first two
connected.
to be exhibits 165 and 173. They're not marked on there, but what you earlier looked at. Do those appear to be those 2 exhibits that you earlier saw?
Yes, I don't know what numbers they were, but I do remember seeing these photos earlier.
Fair enough. And then the second 2 photos, do those appear to be zoomed photos of the same 2 photographs?
Yes, they do.
With the court's permission, I would ask the zoomed
So a little background on this, if you haven't been following it. Prosecutors say that Reed hit O'Keefe with her SUV and then left him for dead in 2022. She's pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder charges. Her defense team is arguing, though, that she's been framed. I want to thank you for joining us. The audience leaving us your local programming is next. You can always check us out on scriptsnews.com. If you're staying with us, we have much more headed your way on this.
I'm Jonathan Lawson. If you're 5085, I have an important message about security. Write down the number on your screen so you can call when I finish.
One that doesn't connect.
Isn't the one on your door. It's the lock for your life insurance. A rate lock that guarantees that once you're insured, your rate can never go up at any time for any reason. But be careful. Many policies you see do not have one. But you can get a lifetime rate lock from Colonial Penn. Call this number to learn more. This policy is designed with a rate
I know how I did that.
lock, fixed income, with life insurance that fits their life into some
I don't know how I did that.
Less than 35 cents a day. Act now.
Just perseverance, I guess.
For life. It will never increase.
All right, so.
Guaranteed. This is lifelong coverage that can never be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Guaranteed. This is guaranteed. You cannot be turned down because of your health. Every month is right lock for yourself.
One of those buttons. Okay.
All for free, with no obligation. Don't miss out. Call for information and decide. The 30-day 100% money back guarantee. Don't wait. Call this number now.
Call now and you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. Use this valuable guide to record important information and your final wishes. And it's yours free just for calling. So don't wait. Call 1-800-440-9900 for your free information. That's 1-800-440-9900. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-440-9900. That's 1-800-440-9900. So call now.
Small steps, like a checkup, part of your routine, or a moment for you, can come together to make big changes for your weight loss, hair loss, anxiety, and more. Get a personalized treatment plan 100% online at fortness.com.
Can't be that simple.
reports on the scene. I'm Chris Stewart in Atlanta. Here's some of the events that we're following live right now. The Jerusalem Post is hosting a conference in New York City today. We're expecting speakers to be New York City Mayor Eric Adams, as well as former Vice President Mike Pence. We're keeping a close eye on the House floor. The House back in session today. Jury selection in Hunter Biden's felony gun trial began today, and it is resuming right now after a lunch break. And the Dow, at this point, down more than 255 points. We are continuing on path to the White House initiative this morning. For the 10 weeks leading up to the first nominating convention, we're focusing on issues that matter most to our viewers. This week, we're looking at foreign policy. As Deputy Political Director Joe St. George reports, you can tell a lot about the differences between President Biden and former President Trump, like the company they keep on the global stage.
The President of the United States deals with a lot of issues domestically in our country, from the economy to the border, but they also play a unique role on the global stage, interacting with foreign leaders, setting the global agenda, and participating in yearly gatherings like the ones that take place here at the United Nations. So what does former President Trump and President Biden get along with on the global stage? What does that tell us about their policies? President Biden has spent much of his presidency forging alliances in Europe. He's met with President Zelensky of Ukraine on multiple occasions, promising and delivering new aid to the country. President Biden has welcomed Finland and Sweden to NATO, the European military alliance. Former President Trump, meanwhile, has forged relationships over the years with leaders too. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has even met with Trump in recent months. Orban is considered closer than most European leaders to Vladimir Putin of Russia. Trump has previously criticized NATO in the past, arguing other countries should be paying more, and that it's too reliant on funding from the U.S. Former President Trump has also criticized some of the aid given to Ukraine. Both leaders put a particular focus on Asia while in office, but both deploy very different strategies when it comes to combating the rise of China. Those differences, however, mainly center around rhetoric. Former President Trump forged a very close relationship with the late Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, while in office. President Biden held a state dinner for Japan's current Prime Minister earlier this year. President Biden has taken steps to make the Quad, the alliance of Australia, India, Japan, and the U.S. stronger. Reestablishing the Quad is considered one of Trump's top foreign policy achievements. Without a doubt, Trump had a desire in office to hold more controversial summits. He met with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un on multiple occasions. President Biden has rejected such meetings and hasn't even met with President Putin since the war in Ukraine began. Whoever wins in November will also have to confront the conflict between Israel and Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was very close to Trump during Mr. Trump's 4 years in the White House, but Trump has been more critical of Netanyahu in recent months. President Biden has criticized Israel too from time to time.
It's not connected. I wonder what it controls. All right.
Heading toward those numbers, Scripps News is diving into key issues, taking on a new topic each week leading up to the first presidential nominating convention in July. Our coverage each week culminates with a special Scripps News reports Path to the White House every Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern Time here on Scripps News. The scene right now in Israel, where a U.S.-backed ceasefire proposal for Gaza is generating conflicting reactions. Many Israelis have taken to the street in protest, urging Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to embrace this deal, but government hardliners oppose it. Just in the last hour, we learned that Israel has confirmed the deaths of 4 war hostages.
This here is in a bad state. It's unusable.
In Tel Aviv with the links.
What appears to be Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made once again a torpedo in a ceasefire and see that the war will not end until Israel's 3 main goals have been achieved. This is defeating Hamas, bringing home the remaining hostages, and ensuring that October 7 never happens again. He also released a video message saying that this is not something I'm adding now, this is not something I'm adding because I'm under pressure within the coalition. There's also been leaks from senior advisors from inside his closed-door session saying that Netanyahu said that Biden only published a statement saying the war will be stopped for the purpose of returning hostages and we will proceed with other discussions after that. So it appears as though Israel is willing to discuss the first phase of this three-phase proposal, which was laid out by the US President over the weekend. But after that,
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it seems to be working.
Because there would be a full comprehensive ceasefire involved in that. This is something that really we've been hearing it from the Israelis that will not happen until Hamas has been defeated. Derek Coates, Good News, Tel Aviv.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Let's go on the scene to Washington now. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan spoke at the Global Impact Forum this morning. He addressed the Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal that is being pushed by the Biden administration.
What I'm doing.
Here's part of that, of what he said in this on-the-scene.
Okay, so...
Here on the line and did the peace negotiations between the parties in Northern Ireland. Said that negotiations for ceasefire.
I have no idea.
1,000 days of failure, 1 day of success.
You just got an alternative match, I guess.
At the end of the day, there is no alternative but to an enduring ceasefire.
This is quite an impressive amount of energy. What does it power?
Israelis and Palestinians alike. But can I tell you when exactly it's going to happen? I can't. And I just
this is
we've seen again from.
I want to say two of them, but
from Israel.
No, it's like
step forward and
just dumb luck, really.
And really, in the eyes of the world now, all of those people who have been calling for a ceasefire for all of this time, they need to train their eyes on Hamas this week and say, it's time, come to the table, do this deal, let's move forward. This is the best thing for the people of Gaza who have been suffering. It's the best thing for the people of Israel who need and deserve security. And it's the best thing for the American people as well who want to see a shift to peace and stability in the Middle East.
It's not a single click, it's a double click. It's a single click for that.
Well, we all know
stuff like this.
you are working in, obviously.
But for zooming and
are hoping you are successful. I need to ask you about the humanitarian crisis that just continues to grow.
1359.
You know the stats better
I guess that's a
than I.
9 or a G.
330 million
Small
people
G.
today in humanitarian needs. 114 people on this earth that are displaced.
9 or
Those that are
small
forced in this
D.
world are in conflict regions, some of which you just have already mentioned, like Sudan. My question is, from a national security perspective, how are you seeing the multitude of humanitarian crises while also doing something else
functions item. Multiple functions item.
development program
Redacted, strong enough to redact even in redacted.
often lead to these humanitarian crises.
Similarly to object redacted, the data this machine holds are of great value. It would be of interest to extract the data, that data. Make sure to enlist help from a museum approved and specialized in redacting.
And so, one of the things that the president has been very focused on is how do we make sure that the architecture of global
languages,
in particular international financial institutions, multilateral development banks, are tooled up for the period ahead.
Known languages?
We simply, again, do not have the resources or the assets necessary to get after the scope of the problem.
Although the object's initial dimensions may fit a human neck, caution should be taken when using it. The site manager, Mr. #######, suffocated quite a bit following the activation of the redacted. Excess of nitrogen for human lungs.
Developing countries right now from being able to address the challenges and ensure that the next humanitarian crisis.
The letter was sent with the box.
From crushing debt, and the president has made clear
the letter that was sent with the box.
We need an all-hands-on-deck strategy to deal with that. So if we can mobilize capital through the international financial institutions, if we can solve the problem of debt, then we can set the stage for more development as we go forward.
So I guess it is a 9, not a G.
That absolves us of dealing with those very scary numbers you just laid out.
I guess it is a 9,
the National Security Supplemental that so many people in this room helped pass has
$10 billion set aside for this purpose, which frankly isn't enough, but gives us the ability to go to other countries in the world and say, we're stepping up, now it's your job to step up. And I'm extremely proud of the humanitarian professionals in the U.S. government working with partners everywhere to be in battle stations to try to help alleviate the suffering that we're seeing in so many places around the world.
White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan speaking at the Global
So, what was it?
Forum earlier today.
1359.
And to break, I want to go live on Wall Street. Look here at the Dow. Tough way to start the month of June. When it comes to trading on Wall Street, the S&P is also down right now. The NASDAQ is up, so there's a little bit of a bright spot.
There's nothing in it. The drawer is empty.
Oh! I want to take you live to Fountain Hills, Arizona.
The drawer isn't it? Can we put the letter in there?
Scale. Courtesy of Earth Cam, the temperature right now around
The drawer
91
is
degrees.
empty.
There is an excessive heat watch there right now in effect from June 5th, 10 a.m. until June 7th, 8 p.m. across the Southwest.
And I guess that's a B, yeah,
Major
B,
heat
A and
wave
B.
of the year could cause some issues when you think of power grids in California and New Mexico as well. We'll continue to monitor this. We're back out on the scene after the break.
Unlock? Unlock it up? Yeah. Can I close it?
From giving you fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. Yeah, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art you want, we got them.
Secret
If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank,
a secret note.
we even have a flip phone, like the Iris Flip.
Why is it upside down?
I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing
Why
stores
is it
in my
upside
town yet?
down?
Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Just fuck with it.
Easy as
So
pie.
that's
New customers who buy any phone get 2 months of service free when they sign up by July 31st. Call
A7861.
or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about.
A7861.
Over 13 billion.
Oh, I know it's A7861.
In 2022, the threats go way beyond just credit cards. Today's identity thieves can use your information in ways that are easy to miss by just monitoring it. Like moving loans, transferring titles, and even
It's a necklace. Susan necklace. Get it?
was used for criminal
Chapter
activity.
5.
do so much with a social security number that I didn't know.
It's Susan necklace.
They drained my bank account. It was terrifying.
You're even more vulnerable than you realize. Your information.
I'm not using my tools much.
Thank you. Even corporate data breaches.
I mean, you can use your tools all the time.
Victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. Only in LifeLock alerts you to why is all of your threats all in one place. Like someone trying to use your social security number, open a new loan in your name, or even commit a crime in your name.
There's a strange symbol here. What could it be?
I clicked, that's not me, and I thought that was weird.
If you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will be assigned to your case and work to fix the issue on your behalf.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you.
All LifeLock members are backed by the LifeLock $1 million protection package, including reimbursement for stolen funds, personal expenses, and coverage for lawyers and experts up to $1 million. It can be dangerously easy.
Do I need to use my magnetic screwdriver? Yes, I do.
LifeLock forever.
Alright,
Already protected by LifeLock, and for a limited time, save 25% on your first year with promo code 25TV. All plans include a 60-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-397-8056 or visit lifelock.com/25TV to save 25% on your first year of identity theft protection. Enroll now.
Welcome back. Let's go on the scene to our newsroom. Carolyn Ruck is there. Carolyn, what are the stories you're following? There's just such a violent weekend in multiple cities, and that includes Akron, Ohio.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. One person is now dead, dozens are injured following a mass shooting that happened in Akron, Ohio on Sunday. Police and gunfire broke out during a street party in the area, killing a 27-year-old man and then wounding 24 people. These 2 people remain in critical condition. Police have made no arrests and have no details on suspects in the investigation. They're asking anyone with information to call detectives. Democratic Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas says she has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer and will be absent at times until Congress while she undergoes treatment. 34-year-old 16-term congresswoman did not address the prognosis or proposed treatment in a statement that was released Sunday. She said she hopes to be present for critical votes on the House floor, adding, quote, "The road ahead will not be easy, but I stand in faith that God will strengthen me." Former President Donald Trump is officially a TikToker. Now on TikTok. Over the weekend, Trump joined the platform he once tried to ban as president, launching his account with a video highlighting his appearance Saturday at an Ultimate Fighting Championship event in Newark, New Jersey. By this morning, Trump's account has amassed 3.5 million followers. That is 10 times more than the 345,000 people following President Biden's campaign on TikTok. GameStop shares, they soared.
Oh, I see what you're gonna do.
That started trading this morning. That surge followed. Better known as Orange Kitty. He posted a screenshot suggesting a purchase of nearly $116 million worth of stock in the company. This was Gale's first Reddit post in 3 years after fueling the GameStop trading frenzy in 2021. GameStop has been struggling with slow sales. Customers moved to downloading games. Spotify plans to raise its prices for the second time in a year, starting in July. U.S. subscribers will pay $11.99 per month for its ad-free premium plan. That's up $1 from the current plan, and 20% price jump over the past 2 years. Subscribers on a split or family plan will also see increases. Spotify says price hikes will help the company improve features for a better user experience. And that's a look at just some of the stories we're following. Are you a Spotify guy?
Of course, every single time they keep updating the price, I keep.
You should say, okay, bring it.
Keep doing it. Thank you. As we head to break, let's go back to Delaware. Live look here outside the federal courthouse there. The jury selection is underway. The Hunter Biden's felony gun trial. Our team is inside the courtroom right now. Believe that jury could be seated as soon as today, or perhaps early tomorrow.
It's Richard's Live. With Dane and Long. And in 5 is the big stories from across the
A piece of stone.
report. So stay with Rich News.
Can I duplicate it?
The fact is,
I can duplicate it.
lawmakers being criminalized drugs cannot say it failed when you didn't implement it.
The Oregon experiment on In Real Life. Sunday night, 8
Piece of stone.
Only on Scripps News.
We love being outside, but
There's a ring around it.
patio too hot to enjoy.
Now, thanks to our new Sun Center retractable line, we can select full sun or instant shade in just 60 seconds.
It's 20 degrees cooler under the sun center, and we get instant protection from harmful UV rays and footwear.
For pricing starting at less than $1,000, transform your outdoor living space into a shaded retreat your family will love. When you call, we'll rush you a special $200 discount certificate with your
Another
free
strange
online
symbol.
gift.
Maybe
You
there's
get your
more.
Sun Center for as little as $799. But this is a limited time offer.
For over 20 years, the Sun Center has been the best-selling retractable awning in America.
Call now for this free awning idea kit, packed with great awning solutions that will let you enjoy your deck or patio much more
it fell off.
often. Plus, get this $200 discount certificate that will bring you to the Sun Center for as little as $799. But this is a limited time offer. Call now.
Sun Centers are backed with up to a 10-year limited warranty.
We would be pelicans.
You too can discover why life is better under a Sun Center. It's like putting an extension on your home. And talk about options. Choose motorized or manual. And for just a little extra, add LED lighting for evening enjoyment.
There are so many incredible
There
styles
you
to
go.
choose from, and our free awning idea kit and custom-built awning without the custom-built price.
Call now to get the whole Sun Center store. You get this free awning idea kit, plus a $200 discount certificate. And there's no obligation. With Sun Center, you create the ultimate outdoor living space, perfect for entertaining friends. Call now for your free awning idea kit with local dealer info and $200 discount certificate. Life is better under a Sun Center.
I read this.
Say.
Vehicle brake breakdowns are costly.
It sort of makes some really weird noises.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Is the transmission.
But with Endurance,
Could be a
you
key,
can
huh?
never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
$16,000 engine replacement.
$1,400. Endurance paid it. Who's gonna pay for your
Ah.
next car repair?
Welcome back on the scene here for events that we're following live right now. You're taking a live look outside the federal courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware. Federal trial, so
quite
no
impressive.
cameras allowed inside the
It's a
courtroom.
headdress.
Jury selection is underway in Hunter Biden's felony gun trial. We're also keeping a close eye on House floor. Lawmakers
It's a
in
headdress.
action today. The Dow, a tough start to the week and the month, down more than 241 points. We're going to head south of Boston right now. The murder trial of a woman named Karen Lee. This is day 19
Metal
of this
wheels are
trial.
locked.
It's been getting a lot of attention. A woman who was charged with murdering her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. He was a Boston police officer. This is a forensic scientist from the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab now testifying. Let's listen to what she has to
Metal
say.
wheels are locked.
Yes, that's correct.
All those bombings were coming from the exterior area of that
Alright.
assembly, is that correct?
The objection sustained is to the full.
With regards to those bombings that you took from the taillight housing, where on the taillight housing? Okay.
They're not locked
I
now.
took them from what would have been the exposed area of the taillight, should the taillight have been intact. So I did not collect from any of the interior portions of the taillight that would have been protected by the exterior plastic piece.
Now, at the time that you were looking at the vehicle in the Sally Port of Kennedy Police Station, do you recall, what the
This is
temperature
a
was?
symbol here. What could it be?
No, I don't have that information.
What's the temperature of the inside the garage,
No.
what's outside the garage, you know, was it heated at all?
I don't know if it's heated.
As far as the vehicle itself was concerned, when you saw it in the garage, did you see any sort of frozen snow or ice or anything like that on the exterior of the vehicle?
Not to my recollection, no.
I have nothing further else.
And that limited bit,
One follow-up.
Oh, well, I think it's time to call it quits for a day. I had to do something today. What was it? Oh, I gotta go to
Can you take one more
ECS.
look at that, what's been marked right
Yeah,
now?
okay.
That's the.
Yeah, let's,
Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You signed it.
Let's call it quits for the day.
so the objection sustained unless you want
Looks
to.
like it's gonna be interesting to solve.
Stays on lock.
It's the same question.
Alright.
Do you want to come up? Do you want to come up to the side deck?
And that will be it. Where am I gonna come back at? Do, 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 do. Okay, we're coming back,
So that is
before I did all that, huh?
there. She is the defendant
All right.
in this trial. There's an objection related to some of the testimony
Is
coming
it
from that
stone? Yeah, that's
Massachusetts
stone.
State Police.
I gotta put everything back in. All right, no problem.
Background on this trial. If you
All right,
have not been
until next time.
2019 of this has been getting a lot of attention.
When I wanna mess with this some more.
Often grabbing headlines there, but it's also starting to get a lot of attention
Oh.
nationwide because prosecutors say that she hit John O'Keefe, her
We're
boyfriend.
gonna call it a day. We're on
SUV that
chapter
took
6 or
this
chapter
is
5?
California, the
We're on
winter
chapter
time of
5.
2022. She's pleaded not
Yeah.
guilty to second-degree murder
Okay,
charges.
2 more days, I
The
guess.
defense team is arguing that
Next
she
time will be
has
probably
been
chapter
framed.
6,
So
7,
this
and 8, and
testimony
9.
continuing on now.
Yeah, that's all good. Okay, 2 more days on this game.
We'll continue to monitor this and bring you updates.
And
Come in.
that is all,
Now
folks.
to the House floor. Lawmakers back in session. Let's listen to what's happening there.
What's happening?
The clerk will report the title of the bill. H.R. 5034, a bill to designate the facility of the United States Postal Service located at 2119 Market Square in Christiansted,
St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, as the Lieutenant General Samuel B.
Well, they're slowly dismantling the postal service.
Pursuant to the role that
All that will be left now is to take it out of the Constitution.
Mr. Raskin, each will control 20 minutes.
So,
The chair recognizes the
what started out as the duty of the government to send your mail is no longer. It's all going to be a private sector.
Without objection.
And they're going to be, oh man, the price of stamps is going to go up. Yeah. If you think the price of stamps is high now, wait until it gets completely put into the private sector. It's going to be like $5 for a stamp, for a first class stamp.
Robinson is a native of St. Croix, who's had a distinguished career in the military,
Yeah.
business, community, and public service.
Let's see if we can.
Mr. Robinson retired from the U.S. Army as a 3-star general. Throughout his time in the Army, he held a variety of key
See if I can fix this.
Mr. Evison received 8 awards, including the Legion of Merit, 2 Bronze Stars, and was elected to the Reserve Officer Training Corps Hall of Fame. He's also been active in the business community. I support naming the post office to recognize Mr. Evanson's service to this nation, and I encourage my colleagues to support this bill. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I give myself such time as I might consume, and I rise in very strong support of H.R. 5034, and I'm delighted to yield to the gentle lady from the U.S. Virgin Islands, Congresswoman Plaskett, for any remarks she may have for a 5-minute period.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to speak in support.
There's a live look at what's happening there on the House floor as we head to break. I want to thank you for joining us on the scene. I'm Chris Stewart. Scripps News Live is next, and as we leave you, here's a live look at the radar with some storms moving their way across Oklahoma. Don't look at some. Keep it here on Scripps News.
The bedroom wheel, with deliberate details and modern functionality. For the indoor enthusiast, check in at dimmer.com.
Hi, I'm Susan from Canada Dental. These days we're all watching our budgets and making choices on what matters most. One thing that should really matter is dental insurance.
Dental insurance. Make sure you get your dental insurance.
Because your overall health matters most to us. That's why Humana Dental is committed to helping you keep your teeth and gums healthy. Just call the number on your screen or visit us online at humanadental.com for a free quote. We'll help you choose from a range of dental plans designed to fit your whole family's needs. And our plans are affordable, starting as low as $18 a month. That's only 60 cents a day. Plus, Humana Dental has plans with low deductibles. Just call the number on your screen or visit us online at humanadental.com for a free quote. We're here to help. You'll find getting dental insurance has never been easier. Easy to enroll, easy to understand, and easy to use. And that's a fact.
And that's a fact.
From basic procedures like fillings, extractions, and more. You'll also get 100% coverage for in-network preventive care. Plus, Humana Dental offers savings on major procedures like root canals, crowns, and dentures. Do you have a dental condition? Don't worry. At Humana Dental, you won't be turned down for coverage. Need coverage
That's
soon?
a fact.
At Humana Dental, you can use your new benefits in as little as 5 days. And you can choose from over 100,000 dentists and specialists. Need a vision plan? Humana also offers plans as low as $12 a month, including coverage for exams,
$12 a month?
and frames, or contacts. Questions? Call to talk to us today. We're here to help you. Because it's fast, easy to use, affordable dental insurance, it pays to know the facts. Call now or go online for free information and free quote. We'll get you covered.
We'll get you covered.
Humana. More human way to healthcare.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, UPS.
Vanilla good chocolate chip.
Well, alright, so that's it. See y'all tomorrow. Bye. Bye.